Everyone, my name is Courtney. I write under the pen names Lyra Parish, and I'm one half of the USA Today bestselling duo Kennedy Fox, and today is Monday, which means it's time for another Q&A Monday. I've been live streaming a lot lately, which I seem to do when it's time to finish books, and I think that I'm going to keep that in my YouTube repertoire. I know that I've gone back and forth with doing live streams on my channel because it tends to somewhat kill my videos, my actual videos that I post that stay here forever and ever. But I've learned that when it comes to YouTube, like, I just want to do my own thing. And if people want to subscribe because they like the information that I'm sharing or they love my live streams or whatever, then this community will be here for you guys. I think I might have figured out a way where it doesn't essentially like kill my real videos in the algorithm, but I'm still testing that, and I haven't been posting as regularly as I was in January because I am under deadline. So with all of that being said, it is time for a Q&A Monday. If you see me looking down, it's because I'm reading these questions directly off of my phone. If there are questions that you would like to ask in every one of my videos, in the description there is a Google Doc form where you can go and submit. So the first question comes from Harriet, and this is what she says. Do you have any tips on planning multiple book releases in a year without getting completely overwhelmed? When I think ahead to all the marketing, covers, social media posts, newsletter builders, ads, etc. to sort in advance while also starting on the next book and keeping up with promo, it makes me freeze from overwhelm and that I don't have enough time to do everything. I know you have Brooke and can split the workload, but I thought I'd ask. Thank you so much for making these videos. P.S. I have loads more questions. Sorry in advance. Thank you so much, Harriet, for submitting this question. And I just want to say that, like, feeling overwhelmed with self-publishing is 100% normal. Yes, I have Brooke. Yes, we have 2 assistants now. And I think that overwhelm still happens because when you really love what you're doing and you're really passionate about it, like, you want it to be the best thing ever. You want your books to release without any issues. You want to be able to focus on the next thing that's happening. What's helpful with that is to get ahead with your writing. That's something that I know that we've been needing to do for years. Have we done it? The answer is no. No, we haven't. We have been writing deadline to deadline for the last year, and that's okay. Apparently, when you have ADHD, you need urgency to get stuff done, but I wouldn't recommend that. I would say also to come up with a checklist that you do for every single one of your releases. Having a baseline of the things that absolutely have to be done is so helpful. And if you decide that you do want to hire an assistant in the future, then you know that these are the things that you need to do for all of your releases, and you can hand those tasks off to someone. At some point, you become so busy that you need help. I made a video years ago where it was like 10 things I learned after self-publishing for 4 or 5 years. And one of those is to know when you need help and to know when to hire out. And yes, that is an added cost and that can be expensive, but you don't have to hire a publicist that you need to pay every single month to help you with releases. What I would say is to create your checklist to see how long it takes you to do those things. For example, during release month, we like to push our upcoming release really hard. We know that we want to up our pre-orders right before it comes out. So that comes with social media posts. If we're going to do any sales on books that are already in that series, to push people through it to possibly pre-order the next one. Release month is typically very busy for us, and it puts us behind on our next release. But having those things that you know that you need to do acts as a guideline, and then it doesn't seem so overwhelming. There are also different things like Planoly, for example. It is a paid app where you can plan your Instagram feed and you can schedule all this stuff. And so I would use automation to your advantage. If you can automate social media posts, if you can automate posts in your Facebook group, if you can do different things like that where you're not literally going into Facebook or Instagram or whatever it is every single day, that'll take some of the load off. I like to think about working smarter and not harder. And I know that in self-publishing, a lot of times like people are like, you have to release every single month. You have to release every other month. The only way that you're going to be successful is if you release like 100 million times in a year. And that's just not sustainable. In real life, it's not sustainable. Even though there's two of us, I don't think that me and Brooke could survive a year where we're releasing a book every single month. We would burn out so badly that we wouldn't get anything accomplished the next year. And that's just reality. Also, I would look at your release schedule. I would just try to stay consistent with your release schedule, not comparing how many times you're releasing to everybody else in this industry. So if you can only release 3 times per year, to give yourself enough time to make sure that when you are releasing, you've got the time and you're not burnt out and you can focus on promoting those books, then bring your release schedule down. If you're good with releasing every 3 months, so then that gives you time to write and then start your pre-promo for your book that's about to release, then I would do that. Also, there are promotional companies that will help you with releases only. That's all you pay them for. It's like $150. They will send packets out to bloggers. They will find ARC readers for you. They will do different things like that. And so I would try to find a company like that to help you with releases. So during release week, you can just worry about your own social media and you're not having to deal with readers and bloggers and ARC reviews and all those things, because that can be a whole lot. And then when you're ready, you know, you've got your checklist down, you've got the things that you do for every single one of your releases, then you can easily hire a personal assistant to take care of those things for you that you pay on an hourly basis, maybe the month that you release, so then you have someone to help you. There are a lot of book lovers out there who want to work for authors, who want to get into that space. And if there's someone that is your friend that you trust, or a reader that has been with you for a long time, that is trustworthy, that you know, it's not a bad thing to be like, hey, have you ever thought about becoming a personal assistant? Because right now I need one. But yeah, overwhelm happens. I would take it one day at a time and do what you can. Be kind to yourself, because I know a lot of times I make checklists like crazy and I don't always mark the stuff off my list, and that bothers me. But we have to be kind to ourselves because we only have 24 hours in a day, and we still have to sleep, and we still have to relax, and we still have to write and be with our family and do all those things too. So consistency is key. Having a map of what you need to do is super helpful, and automate everything where you can. And then when you're ready, hire a personal assistant to help you out. I hope that was helpful. That was a long answer. I'm so sorry. The next question comes from Eloise. I think I said your name correctly. And it says, how do you plan your writing year? Like deadlines and releases, and when to hire editors and cover designers. We are penciled in on our editor's schedule indefinitely. She knows our release schedule, and she knows that we are Hot Mess Express most of the time, and that she will get our book probably in the same month that it releases. We just have that all worked out with her. We've been with her for years, so she knows how we are and how we work. As far as cover designers, we get covers designed very far in advance, like a year in advance. So we've had all of our covers designed for this year since the end of 2020, I think. And right now we're working on getting all of our photographs and everything, titles together for our books that will release in 2023. We're super far ahead with covers. The reason why I feel okay with doing that is because we're established. Our readers know what to expect from us when we release, and also we know our genre very well, so we can make a cover today that we know will sell from a year from now. As newer authors, I don't know if I would say to get all of your covers done a year in advance, because if you're still trying to get established and trying to create a brand for yourself, I would almost do it like 3 to 6 months before you release, so then you can see what the current trends are in cover design and jump on those things. As far as Kennedy Fox, we know that at some point we will eventually rebrand our covers. We're okay with that. Our readers know at this point we will change a cover in a hot minute if we need to. Doing it so far in advance is not a big deal for us because we know in 5 years we will probably go ahead and change those covers. And if for some reason we're ahead of the game and we release these covers and we're like, you know, this just isn't working, we'll change them in the middle of a series if that's what it takes. But we also like getting our stuff done well in advance so we don't have to wait on anybody, and we also like to reveal our covers like 6 months before we release the book. You also asked how we plan our writing year. Well, it kind of just bleeds over from the previous year. So we know, like last year we released 8 books and we knew that we were releasing our last book in December, and then we had to plan 2022 based off of that. And so we tried to give ourselves a little bit more time to write and to try to get ahead. So in 2023, we have books written ahead of time, so we're not struggling and writing and editing and doing all that like right before the book releases. We try to space our releases out. We're not that author duo that's like, yeah, let's release back to back. If we have to, we absolutely will, because we do like to avoid specific holidays like Christmas. December is one of those months where it's kind of hard to sell. There's a lot of people marking their books down to free and 99 cents, and there's box sets and collections and Christmas freebies and all this stuff. And so December is one of those months where we're like, we kind of want to avoid it. We kind of want to, you know, let December be December, enjoy it with our family, and not have to write. It doesn't mean we haven't released in December, but there are certain months that we try to avoid because of that. Typically for me, I go on vacation in August, so we try not to release in August. If I've moved my vacation, then we'll release in August. And so it's just kind of like, we know how we work and we know how much time it takes us to write a book. And so we want to make sure that we're giving enough time where we can do the promotions, not be rushed from deadline to deadline, and to get everything accomplished that we want to without burning ourselves out. In 2023, we already have all of our releases planned, and that's based on 2022's workload. So I know which months I will be releasing in 2022 and 2023. And I'm sure once we get halfway through 2022, towards the end of it, I'll know what my writing schedule will be in 2024. And that's just because me and Brooke work so well together, and we know ourselves. We know how much time we typically need. We're trying not to release 8 to 10 books per year. We're trying to slow it down a little bit because we are also doing foreign editions now, and we want to make time to be able to release those too. Yeah, I guess we just look at the calendar, cross off big holiday months. If we have personal stuff going on, we'll try to avoid that and just go with it. I mean, we like to release every other month. I think that's a good schedule for us because there are 2 of us, but there have been months where we've released 9 or 10 weeks past one another, and there have been months where we've released back to back. So I don't think there's a real method to our madness. We just kind of look at the calendar and go with it. So hopefully that's helpful. Stephanie asks, can I enroll one book in KDP Select, or do I have to sign up for KDP Select and have all my books enrolled? This is an easy one. You enroll them one book at a time. So if there is a series that you think would do better wide, you can put that series wide and you can have another series in KDP Select. So yeah, you get to pick and choose which ones you want in the program. You don't have to put your whole account in the program. So this question comes from Nicole, and she says, I have a question, and honestly, it'd be great if you had any advice, even if you don't put it in the video. I'm putting it in the video. I don't even know what the question is, but we're going for it. I can't find a decisive answer on Google. Can you offer a different cover for your paperback and hardcover than ebook? I rarely see anyone do it and don't know if it's because you can't upload that way when self-publishing or if it isn't worth the hassle. If you know or have any thoughts on non-model oriented book covers, I'd love to hear it. I don't know if I see that for the direction of my books, but don't know if that'll impact my chance at success in adult romance. You can totally put different covers on your paperback and hardcovers than on your ebooks. We do have books that are like that. If you go and look at our Love in Isolation series, you will see that we have alternative covers for our paperbacks, and we just give people options because on TikTok right now, discrete covers are a huge thing, and we were asked to be in a collection box, and so we just continue continued on with the series and offering those discrete alternative covers for that series. You'll also see that we will change kind of like the cover vibe with our box sets when we decide to box them up in paperback and hardcover as well. But yeah, you totally can do that. It would be worth testing. You might sell a whole lot of paperbacks, and at that point you might want to consider changing your ebook cover to the discrete cover that you have on your paperbacks based on that. But yeah, there are no rules when it comes to the images having to match. Like, you can do whatever you want as a self-published author when it comes to the artisticness of your covers. As far as the end part where you said non-model oriented book covers, I think that those are a big deal right now. I think that a lot of the younger generation who is reading romance enjoys covers that don't have couples scandalously placed on the front of it. They don't want to be in public with two people like banging on a bed on the front of their cover. And I understand that because people judge you, you get asked questions, and so I respect the need for that 100%. So I've shown this in another video, but this is the two of us. This is our ebook cover. You can buy this paperback right now on Amazon. Then we have our discrete or alternative cover for the same series. This is the same book inside, but it has a different cover. And we sell a whole lot of these. Our OG fans want this 100%. They want the cover that they read on their ebook. Without a doubt, they will scream it loud and proud that this is their book that they absolutely love. But newer readers will pick up this and they'll read it and enjoy it just as much as this book because it's literally the same. So this is the time for you to judge a book by its cover. And there are people who do that, a lot of people who do that. So I think that it would be good to test and to try out, see how it works for you. You can always change the cover on your paperback, offer a different edition with the ebook cover or with an alternative cover or special edition or whatever you want to call it. But yeah, it's a really cool thing to have. I like it as an author. I like having the different options. As a reader, I like having the different options for covers too. You know, there are a lot of romance books that are going this way. They've got an illustration or they have an object, which, hold on, I know that I've shown this on my channel too, but this is our Checkmate Duet series box set. This is all 6 books combined together, and we sell a lot of these. But if you notice on the front of it, it's objects. It's all chess pieces. It goes with our series. The back of it also has the chess pieces too, and then we've got our short blurbs for each one of the books. And so this works for romance. You have to figure out what your readers want. Make sure to test absolutely everything, because what works for us might not work for you, and what works for you might not work for us. But if you do the alternative covers for your paperbacks, and like I said, you see them like selling like hotcakes on Amazon or Ingram or wherever you're putting them, I would test changing the ebook cover too, just to see, because you can always change it back. Like, it's literally that easy as a self-published author. The next question comes from April, and she asks, do you ask reviewers before using the reviews for marketing and promotional purposes? No. If they are posting on a public forum for everyone to see, I think that that's fair game. A lot of the times we will take our quotes from our ARC readers, and they know that we might use parts of their reviews for promotions and to just like share online. But for the most part, I would say no. If they're posting it publicly, anybody can read that, anybody can see it. You're just bringing more attention to it. So I would have to say no. Now, if someone sent you a private review and they said something to you that is not posted on a public forum for anybody to read, then yes, at that point, I would be like, hey, I thought that this line that you said about my book was amazing. Do you mind if I share that online? At that point, yes. But if they're posting for God and country, I think it's fair game. I think this will be the last and final question, and it comes from Joe. And it says, I've heard a lot of people say that it is best to let drafts sit for a month or more between a draft and a revision. Given your tight publication schedule, how do you feel about that advice? Is it something that has changed for you with practice experience? I don't follow that advice. I don't believe in that advice. And that's just personally for me. For some people, hey, that works. It gives them the ability to look at their manuscript with fresh eyes and go at it harder with a more critical viewpoint than what they previously would have if they would have just jumped directly into edits. For me, I've learned that by the time I get to finishing the end of a book, I don't even really remember what I wrote at the beginning. And it's because I don't sit on it. I move on. I write what I write, and then I move on to the next chapter, and I do not go back while I am in the writing phase. It's something that even my writing partner is like, I don't know how you do it. I don't know how you don't just read over it and tweak it and rewrite sentences. That's just not how my brain works. And so for me, it doesn't matter if I let it sit a month or if I directly went into self-edits. And just so you know, for the last, I don't know, how long have we been writing as Kennedy Fox? For however long that's been going on, I've gone directly into edits. I do find that if I have my laptop read the book to me, I tend to catch more mistakes. I've learned that if I read it out loud while I am editing it, I take in the information a little bit differently. And I think that that's very, very helpful. It's annoying to be around me when I edit, like straight up. It's very annoying. I understand. My husband's a saint. I've already told y'all that. But it doesn't matter to me if I was to let it sit or if I directly went to edits, because I literally don't remember what I wrote in the first few chapters. I remember what I wrote toward the end, but by the time I make it back to the end, the stuff that's fresh on my mind, it's no longer fresh. I understand why people say that. I respect those who do that, but personally it doesn't work for me. And even if we were under tight deadline, I would still probably go directly into edits just to be able to mark that thing off my list and to get it done. I can tell you also that I don't remember what I wrote so much that when I was self-editing, I went through and edited over half of Brooke's chapters and thought that I wrote it, because our writing voices are so similar. So I don't know. I have no idea. It's like when Courtney is writing, it's a totally different human than when Courtney is editing. And that's because I use a different part of my brain. You know, you've got your creative part that is activated when you are writing and creating and world building, and then when you're in editing, it's like, okay, I need to break this down, I need to destroy this book, I need to burn this house down to make it better. And so you're using two different sides of your brain. And so for me, no, I don't need the time. And there may be people who will be like, that's because she doesn't have time. But I know it works for me. I know my process. I know how I think. I know how I take in and receive information. I know how my editing brain works compared to my writing brain. And sure, it works for some people and that's great, but I don't think that's the holy grail of how you should go about tackling your books, especially in self-publishing. Like, who has time to let a book sit for 2 months before you self-edit? Anybody who has this as a career and is making like a buttload of money who's not a unicorn, I don't think that they're letting their books sit for a month or longer before they start working on self-edits where they can send it to an editor. But what do I know? Okay, this is gonna be the last question, for real, for real. I just want to like literally just go through every single one of these questions because my hyper focus is kicking in and like I want to highlight them, because like I'm literally just choosing random things in 2022 to answer. So the last and final question, for real, comes from Raquel. It says, hi, I've been searching for your videos on KU and can't seem to find them. Also, if an author is published on KU, can they not publish on anything else? You're amazing. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate the compliment. So KU, there are some videos. I will put them up above here somewhere Maybe it's up here. Maybe it's up here. I don't know where it goes. It's the pros and cons of Kindle Unlimited, and I believe it's the pros and cons of being on all platforms. And I've got some positive things to say about it, but I've got some negative things to say about it too. If you are in Kindle Unlimited, the terms of service states that Amazon has full exclusivity of your book. That means you can't really distribute it anywhere else, and you should not, because if they find it on other platforms, they will remove your book from Kindle Unlimited, and they could potentially block you from ever being in the Kindle Unlimited program again. I've seen some people do shady things where they have boxed a bunch of different books together and put them on the wide platforms. They've changed titles, although it's the same book, and put it on other platforms. That's literally against the terms of service of Amazon. You're not even supposed to use BookFunnel to send out freebies if your book is enrolled in Kindle Unlimited. Per Kindle Unlimited's terms of service, any books that you have enrolled in Kindle Unlimited cannot be distributed on any other platform. Amazon's pretty serious about that. That's why you see a lot of authors struggling right now who are doing really well in Kindle Unlimited. You have scammers putting their books on Apple Books, and they're making a lot of money by pirating books and selling them for real money on Apple. And so that's one of the major issues that I've seen Kindle Unlimited authors go through right now. The bottom line is, if you're in KU, you have given Amazon 100% exclusivity, and you should not try to find loopholes, and you should not put your books anywhere else. It's just not worth it. If you're in KU, cool. Be in KU. Don't try to scam the program, because at the end of the day, when you do that, you're scamming other authors who are trying to get money out of that big KU pot of gold. Yeah. I will, like I said, link those videos up above down below. I hope you find it helpful, and that's going to be the last question that I have for today. Thank you guys so much for being here. I really appreciate you. You may see another video later this week. You may not. I don't know. My life is hectic. Appreciate your patience. I appreciate your support, and I hope y'all have a great and incredible week. You accomplish all your goals, and you write and/or edit all the words, and I'll see you again in my next video. Bye guys.